A room with a view of the whole city, fashion luxury, that's what he's got pretty.